right, everybody, welcome back to the CrossFit Life podcast, where we talk about the pursuit of health and happiness through CrossFit. Here with another one of our bomb-ass members, Alesha Curley, who has very similar interests as I do. She is a huge lover of gangster rap and bacon. And I love the way she says goats, because she's from Minnesota. So
goats.
Quartz. Cool, but so you guys already know the deal. The point of this podcast is very selfish on my part. I just like talking to people, and I just figured I would share those conversations. And you and I have had, many conversations in your time here. Some of them have been serious. Very few of them, though. Most of them are full of absolute nonsense, which is why you're on the podcast. We're probably just going to do movie quotes for the next 45 minutes.
That's how my husband and I live life.
That's perfect. So real quick, tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of whatever version you want, short version, long version, what brought you here, what's your background?
My name is Alesha. I'm 31. I have always wanted to do CrossFit, but I was a big chicken. And one of my girlfriends who I met through my husband's command did CrossFit at 757.
Okay.
And she started doing classes at the Fort Story gym. So it's just not like actual CrossFit, but she just taught us the movements.
Oh, okay.
So I started doing that.
So you're doing it, but not doing it.
Yeah.
Like on the DL.
Yeah.
But not telling anybody.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it wasn't structured like the gym is.
Yeah, you guys are just working out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is how I kind of got into it. And she was like, you're actually semi-decent, so you should try a gym. So a year later.
Semi-decent? What does that mean? It's like a backhanded compliment.
Well, I don't suck, but I need some work. So a year goes by, and I'm like, I'll do it. And I Googled gyms next to me, and this one is like 1.1 miles from my house.
Gym owners, get your SEO on par. That's a good one. Okay, so but what, did you have any? Because you were an athlete growing up.
Yeah, so I played 3 sports starting in 4th grade. I played basketball, volleyball, and softball.
Okay.
Basketball, I was good because I have a big caboose and I know how to box
out
shit out of people.
There you go.
Can't jump, can't dribble with my right hand, but I was.
Are you left-handed?
I am left-handed.
That explains a lot.
So my coach basically put me in to foul people when the starters were getting up on their fouls.
Listen, that's an important role on the basketball team. We gotta get into the double bonus here, or get the other team in double bonus because they can't shoot free throws.
Yeah, pretty much.
So did you play all 3 sports all the way through high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, what
was your favorite of the 3?
Softball.
Okay,
that's
sure. What I thought.
That's the one that I was the best in. And
what position did you play?
I was backup pitcher, but I played outfield most of the time.
Okay.
So
you're fast. That's right.
Fast-ish.
No, you're fast. I've watched you sprint, which is basically what you have to do in the outfield, and I have a
really good arm, and my hand-to-eye coordination was pretty decent. So
it has to be in the outfield.
Yeah.
I was a catcher, and I could catch anything behind the plate, but if you put me in the outfield, I'd look like a drunk guy.
Well, you can't be an outfielder in all your equipment.
That's what I was doing wrong. Nobody told me. Like, why are you wearing those shin guards?
Yeah, right.
They didn't tell me not to take them off. Okay, so then you play all the way through high school, and then what happens after high school? So you're training a lot. So you're 3 seasons, super active, obviously. Very similar to my high school career, I think. But then what happens after that? What do you do at what college? What?
So I joined the Navy when I was 17.
Okay.
And then
Can you even do that?
Well, I was in the DEP program.
Got it.
I didn't swear in, but I was in like the work-out,
They're
get
like,
you ready
we got
for.
you.
Yeah.
When you're legal.
Yeah,
got
pretty
it.
much.
Okay.
And that had always been a goal of mine. I am the biggest daddy's girl in the world, and he was in the Navy, so I was like, well, let me just do that.
Was your dad pumped?
Yeah, he's not a very emotional guy, but he was just like...
He's like, good job.
Good job. I'm proud of you. That's about as emotional as he gets. But yeah, I think he was. He still wears his Navy hat that I got him from 2005. So
super classic.
Yeah, right?
Is it from the ship?
Yeah. Oh,
of
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you serve on that ship? He's like, hold your dad?
He's 70.
And then what ship are you on?
I was on the USS San Antonio.
Amphib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LPD.
Boom. That amphib life. Okay. So then he could never have been on that because that's a newer platform.
Yeah. He was on subs.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's one of the weird ones.
Yeah.
Go down with 100, come up with 50 couples.
Which is okay. It's fine, everybody. You can do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not condoning that.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how long were you in the Navy?
I was only 4 years.
Okay. And then, so did you train a lot in the Navy, or what did that look like once you went into?
I did the PRT once or whatever it was. What is it, every 6 months? Yeah.
Yeah, twice a year. They just changed it, though, I think, where you can opt out of the second one if you crush the first one.
Oh.
Which I think is appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, I didn't train. I steadily gained weight in the Navy.
What did that look like? Do you mind if I ask, like, how much?
So I graduated high school at 160, and I think at my build that was pretty decent. Like, I feel like that was a really good number at the time. And I got out of the Navy at 175.
Oh,
so,
I mean, that's not like...
Well, I never made Navy standards, so I was always taped. Like, I never made the weight.
Yeah, but if they're going by that... I mean, I never made standards.
Oh, okay.
I was taped every year.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who carries any more than normal muscle mass is going to get taped and not make the BMI standards, which makes it really stupid.
Yeah. I was always a downer, like, well, okay.
But you always pass the test.
Yeah, they always
Crushed it,
taped
probably.
my neck first, and then that was it. As long as I passed the neck, then they didn't do the rest.
Which I also don't understand.
Me neither. Whatever.
What the hell does your neck have to do with
I
anything?
don't know. Maybe I am from Minnesota. I got some girth on me.
Traps.
Yeah. I didn't have traps like I did now, or like I do now back then.
Okay. So then you get out of the Navy, and then what?
I go to college.
Where'd you go to school?
TCC.
And then you're a respiratory therapist now.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been doing that?
6 years.
Okay. Do you like it?
Yeah. Not my end game, but yeah.
What is your end game?
PA school.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
When do you want to do that by?
2020. It's like
Finish or start?
Start.
Okay. I was going to say you'd have to be in school at that time. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I just got accepted to a master's program, and I started getting all the emails about registering for classes and participating in the forums.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wait. I hate school. What am I doing? So
You'll be great.
I don't know.
Is it online?
School is not my jam.
It's not mine either.
But yeah, it's online. But it's at least in something that I'm like involved in. It's like a master's in sports science, so we'll see.
Yeah.
As long as I graduate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bottom of the class is just fine.
Yeah, they call it the dumbest doctor, so that's what my mom always tells me.
That's what they called the last guy that graduated the Naval Academy. They called him Sir.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was like, what'd they call him?
Asshole. Yeah. No, the last guy, the guy who graduates last academically from the Naval Academy is called the Anchorman. And the Anchorman gets $1 from everybody in the class. Hold on. It's not what it sounds like.
Oh, I was like, I'll take it.
You do get $1, but when they present you with said dollars are glued into a brick.
Oh, bummer.
So you can't use them. Yeah, so you get like $1,000 that's just like this big glue brick of dollars.
I would still try.
I was in the running. I was up there. At one time I was 1,012 out of 1,018 academically.
Hey.
It's funny because I somehow along the way like convinced myself that I was not that stupid. Mm-hmm. And then when I started going back to school, because I was toying with going to dental school for a while, I had to get my transcripts back. And I had convinced myself that I had something like a 2.7 or 2 something like that when I graduated. I got it back and I was like, oh, 2.11. That's not very good.
It's a C average, I think.
It's a C minus. But graduated. Yeah, I made it out. Not unscathed, but I made it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what year is this that you started kind of dabbling in CrossFit with your friend?
Probably about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I met Lexi, the girl.
Okay.
I met her through my husband because her ex-husband and my husband used to work together at EOD.
Got it.
So
what did he do over there?
Mike's a GM. He worked.
Oh,
he
that's
was
right.
just
Yeah,
He
got
was
it.
at 2-2.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm sorry. So it was after Morgan was born because I was bringing her to daycare at Fort Story.
Oh, okay.
So probably 3 years ago-ish.
And she's 4?
She's 4. She'll be 5.
Okay, that's what I say. 5 when? Because she's right
April.
around. Yeah, she's right around Logan's age. That's what I thought. Okay.
You mentioned that Logan was supposed to be due because Morgan's birthday is the 16th.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They had like almost the exact same due date. That's right. Yep. Okay. So you meet Lexi. Wait, Lexi is
She's a coach.
Patrick Murphy's what? What's her husband's name?
Her ex-husband. He was a GM.
Oh, maybe not the same person.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
You
somebody
know
else.
her though. She knows.
Yeah,
you guys.
I do know her. I'm just thinking of a different couple. Sorry. Okay, so she's kind of like, hey, you should do this.
Yeah.
And what does that look like when you guys are doing it?
Well, we would usually be outside in that little court area at Fort Story, and she would bring the weights out, and she would have a wad ready and explain everything. Like it was a very, very miniature version of what we have.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, and she would teach us movements like that I didn't know how to do anything. I knew how to pick a barbell up, but I didn't know how to do like much of anything. And she would critique us, but it was much more laid back. Like it wasn't. I didn't think of it as like as a competition standpoint. It was more of just like, yay, I'm actually moving again. Like my fat ass is not just sitting down. Like,
Did you think it was going to be a competition?
No.
Okay.
But I really wanted to get it into the community, but I am the biggest chicken shit in the world, and I don't like change, and I don't like meeting new people because I get in a box. So that was like an easy way for me to be
Socially
like,
awkward.
hello.
That's cool, though. So I didn't know that. I kind of miss those days. Like, there's a nostalgic part of me that misses like the old school CrossFit days. Don't get me wrong. I love what is happening now in the CrossFit community, but there's a bit of me that's like, man, just the old school, like grab a barbell, go outside, and is still cool. We should do that more often, just to get outside. So most of the stuff was foreign to you. Did you not, when you were playing sports, you guys didn't do any sort of weightlifting?
Well, we did weightlift. So I did like squats and presses and like that calf raise thing. That is the dumbest machine ever.
I think I'm going to bring that back, though.
Really?
Just because I have the small calf now. I feel like I need to get that sorted out.
The implants. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
I might. I'm a little self-conscious about it. But
We did a lot of bench. A lot
Really?
of dumbbell work, yeah, because we were trying to work all of our upper body.
oh, for throwing. Got it.
And I have always been bottom heavy, and my legs have always been strong, like compared to whatever. But yeah, so I've always had a deficit with my belly button up, strength-wise.
But I don't think that is abnormal for females. Like,
Probably not.
having done this 10 years, that is by far. I mean, if a woman walks in here and can do a pull-up, like, she's an anomaly.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like I'm the only one that can.
Who is it? We just had one. Heidi Best. She's a doctor, ER doctor.
I know her. I work with her.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
that's
know
cool.
she works here.
Yeah.
Or she works out here?
She's a boss.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Blonde hair.
Kind of. Maybe like a little dirty
I
blonde.
know who she is.
Yeah. She's an ER doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She works at my
She's
hospital.
she came in. She played college soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she came in and she's like, I was like, do you have a pull up? She's like, well, only strict. And I was like, it's like, keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't tell people that. Yeah. I was like, that's great. Yeah, but again, she's those are like outside ends of the spectrum. The vast majority of females are very deficient upper body strength. And I think that's just because at some point when they're kids, it's not cool to do boy stuff, in air quotes. They're just like, girls don't do pull-ups when they absolutely should. And unless they were in gymnastics of any sort, they just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But it's cool because, again, it's like one of those things once you start training again, we have all sorts of women in here that could do pull-ups, man. Like pull-ups galore. Yeah. And the vast majority of them, if like high 90% of them, did not have pull-ups when they came in, which I think is pretty badass.
Yeah.
So when you're learning this, is it weird? Are you like intimidated by it, or because the setting is not so social, you're like having a good time?
Definitely intimidated because it was all new to me for the most part. But it was a lot of fun, and I was like, man, this is nice. Like, I can be strong at something, and like I can be good at something again, because I'm so used to being an athlete, and then I just totally dropped off for about like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And it sucked. I was so weak. Like, I just hated feeling weak. And then when I started doing this with Lexi, and she's like, yeah, like you can really pull some weight. And I'm like, yes, that's awesome. That's what I want. I just want to be strong again.
And and I ask this because a lot of women are freaked out about this, like that's what you wanted, right? You're like, I want to be strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a lot of women are freaked out because they're like, they equate strong with being big. Like,
I'm already
or massive.
built like a brick shit house, so
But you're definitely stronger
yeah,
than when you came in.
Absolutely.
But I wouldn't say that it's not like you didn't walk in here, start lifting weights, and then, people aren't looking at you and be like, she does steroids.
I hope not.
No, but I mean, and I think that's just a misconception about the female body in general. Mm-hmm. That just because you're strong, you have to be like jacked.
Yeah.
But it's not true. I mean, we have all sorts of women here that can back squat well over 200 pounds.
Absolutely.
That like soccer moms, just chilling.
Yeah.
Whoop your ass walking down the street.
Yeah.
So you do that for like a year. Mm-hmm. And then what brings you in here?
Well, because Lexi wanted me to go to 757 to her gym, and I was like, yes, okay, so I know somebody. It'll be easy for me, but I never pulled the trigger. And then I just got in like one of those down spurts after I had Morgan, and I was still pretty weak, and I was just like, oh man, like I am so out of shape.
Yeah.
I hate this. I really want to do something, and I've always wanted to do CrossFit, but I didn't want to be that person that was like, oh, CrossFit's the cool thing, so let me go do it.
You're the anti-CrossFit person who wants to do CrossFit.
I was, and I feel so bad because I definitely was. I was that person like, whatever, you do, whatever. You're
loser.
Yeah. Get out of my face. Like, whatever. So
that's interesting. I always wonder like how many people are floating around who are like really want to do CrossFit but don't want to be part of the crowd.
Yeah, because
so they're like anti-crowd.
Yeah.
But they're like, but I really want to do this.
Yeah, and then even after I started, I would go to work and be like, yeah, I was a little bad. I'd go to work and be like, yeah, I do CrossFit, and I'm a two-day a weeker CrossFitter, and everybody would be like, oh, you're part of that cult, and I'm like, dude, yes,
I am.
I am. I'm part of that cult. But that's exactly how I felt. I'm like, I didn't want to be part of the.
You didn't want to admit it.
Yeah, and it's very intimidating. Being an outsider, you're like, every single person is in shape, and they're all about healthy eating. Like, this is gonna just.
Is that what you thought before you came in, or what you
absolutely.
thought when you came in?
No, after I got here, after like the first week, I was like, this is my jam. Like, this is where I need to be. And I still am not that like healthy eater, and I mean, I am. I've gotten tremendously better just from being in the community, but.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not peer pressure, but it's just positive influence.
Yeah, and I fold like a napkin under pressure, so you could pretty much get me to do anything with a little push.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm that person that's like, I don't want to do it. Okay, I'll do it.
I'll do it. Damn it. Okay, 3 times.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the nutrition real quick, because are you still doing the you did like a new sugar?
So I did. In the end of June, one of my good girlfriends here does, oh God, what is it called? Beach body. Oh God.
Yeah, something like that.
I can't remember what it is. So she's done, like a bikini competition before.
Oh, okay.
And she looks great. Mm-hmm. And even at her unhealthiest, she is like, awesome. She's a beautiful woman. So she's getting ready to do one of those again, and she's like, hey, hop on the bandwagon. I was like, I'm definitely not signing up for one of them mofos, but there's not enough tanner in the world to make me look right to walk on one of those damn stages. And I would look like a deer, like trying to, anyways. So I was like, all right, I'll try it. So I did no sugar, no carbs, no dairy for like 6 weeks, and I felt the worst I'd ever felt in my life. Like
the whole time?
Okay, so that's also when I gave up soda, and I was
sugar.
Yeah, I was at least a soda a day type of person, especially at work.
What kind of soda were you drinking?
Diet Coke, whatever I could grab.
Anything. So you didn't have like a go-to?
Diet Coke, definitely. Or like Coke
Okay.
Zero. Yeah, that was my jam.
Okay.
But so I started that, and the first 2 weeks that was so hard for me just to give up the soda, not even everything else, just the soda. I was so addicted. I was mowing my lawn one day, and my neighbor across the street, like I had stopped to empty my bag. My neighbor across the street cracked a beer, and just hearing that, I was like, oh, like I was like 7-Eleven is a block away.
I could run
Like, I
there
was
if I had to.
I was, and at that moment, I'm like, Jesus, Alesha, you have a problem. Like, you need AA for caffeine soda drinker. Like, this is bad. So I have not had any soda since June, which is amazing.
That's amazing.
I know, and I don't crave it anymore, which is awesome.
Food is a drug.
It is, and I am totally addicted. My husband and I have a horrible addiction.
I mean, I'm as guilty as the next person. Like, if you're gonna ask me like what my cheat meal is, I would like a Coke and fries, and I'll still do that occasionally. But the longer I go without doing it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
But when I do it, man, I'm like, man, I would really like to do that right now. And here's the funny thing: I am never happy after I do it.
Yeah. You're just like, oh.
Never. I'm like, it's not what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad about it. And then I'm like, I'm not doing this for at least another 48 hours.
So there was a time in this where my husband Mike is good about trying to be good. Like, he'll eat fast food on the way home before I cook him.
That's considerate.
Yeah, right? I mean, I can't fault him for that. He's not trying to get any...
Yeah.
And like whatever. But he came home once with Five Guys, and that used to be, oh God, Five Guys. Just the fries alone.
Yeah. Do you just, when you did this, would you just get the large and just eat it yourself? I do.
Yeah.
They're like, sir, that's for 4 people. I'm like, no, that's for me.
Yeah, put it in the bag. I want to see the grease. Like, double bag it, please. So he came home with Five Guys once, and I was like, oh my gosh, let me just try one fry. And it wasn't good. Like, it wasn't satisfying. And I don't know if it's because it was just a bad batch of fries, which in my head is what it was, or if it's because my
I don't think
taste
that's
buds.
a thing at Five Guys. Yeah, sorry. No.
So, but after tasting it, I'm like, wow, like, this is kind of working. I don't even want these anymore. They're not that good.
So, I've been toying around with doing that lately because I kind of have a sweet tooth, and I just want to do it just because.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot of sugar. However, I can eat an obscene amount of sugar.
Yeah.
It's alarming. For instance, Jess will not have cake in the house because I will literally eat an entire cake. I will eat cake until I get sick. And then I'll be like, oh, this is gross. And then the next day I'll be like, do we have any more of that cake?
Yep.
And she's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Every time you pass it, you just take, like, I would keep a fork out and just...
Oh, no, I wouldn't even do that. I would just cut like a half a cake would be my slice. You can have a slice, just cut it down in half and slap it on a plate. And if I had my choice, I would just take all of the icing off of it, throw the cake away, and just eat the icing.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's bad. So I really have to watch that. And I'm joking, but I'm not joking. But I don't, because I don't eat that way very often. But I'm very capable of it, and because it's really good and it feels really rewarding. But I always feel like shit afterwards.
Yeah.
So when you're going through that, how bad? Like, it's bad for how many weeks of the 6? 3, 4?
Not no.
2?
So the first 2 weeks were really bad with sugar. Like, I knew it was going to be bad. It was like putting a nicotine patch on me. Like, Jesus, it was bad. And then I started feeling really weak, not eating carbs. But my body is so used to me eating. Like, I eat a shitload of carbs. It is tremendous, and they're not the good ones either. So I started feeling really, really weak. And I have hypothyroidism anyway, so I'm always like sluggish. But it was really, I would go to work and I'd be like I couldn't think straight. And it got bad for a while. And then so I started implementing carbs, meaning like toast. I would eat a piece of toast or 2 pieces of toast in the morning.
What kind of toast? Like regular, like white bread, or?
I would try to be good and get wheat, right?
Yeah, as good as you can, I guess.
Yeah. And then throughout the day, I would still just not eat any carbs. But then also, I wasn't eating enough protein. So and I didn't know that then. but that's why I was so like, ooh, I'm dying.
How did you find out you were under eating on protein?
Brittany. Britt Bailey.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So, and I go to that 5-star nutrition. Yeah.
Supplement store?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I go there. One time I just walk in because I wanted to use that InBody thing, actually.
Mm-hmm. Which we have now, by the way.
I know. So I
like, I don't want to use yours.
I know, yeah. It's going to tell me I'm way fatter than what I am. You guys are going to judge me. You're going to keep my results and post them up somewhere and be this bet.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah. This is one of our fat members. As you could tell. No. So I go in there and just ask one of the... And you know what? It's so weird walking in there and you have these dudes that are like... I don't want to sound horrible. Like, anyways.
It's okay.
This is
it's the internet.
This little Asian guy, right? He's like... muscle upon, like, he's one of
his
those,
muscles have muscles.
Yeah, like his t-shirt, you have to like push it up to get over his bicep type of guy. And I'm just like, man, fuck, I didn't come here for that. Sorry, can I cuss? I'm sorry.
It's a kid's show.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, you could literally say whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, the FCC has no governance here. So.
I walk in and I just see this dude and I'm like, oh man, he's judging me already because I'm judging him. But then...
Yeah, how does that feel, Judgy McJudgerson?
Hey, that is my New Year's resolution every year, is to stop.
Not judge?
Yeah.
That's hard.
It is really hard. I was going to say something horrible, but I won't.
I wish you would have. It would have made the podcast much better.
Walmart. So I walk in there, and then they always do so what is your nutrition like? Like, what do you eat at this time and this time and this time? And they were like, yeah, you are not eating protein at all. So they tell me to try to eat a gram of protein per body fat. I weigh 209 pounds. Like, that's a lot.
Not per body fat, per pound of lean body mass.
No,
right?
They said pound of weight. So they were trying to have me eat 200 pounds or 200 grams of protein a day.
That is not good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody who actually knows what they're doing. And I do not claim to be a nutrition specialist. I do know quite a few. Mm-hmm. And the general recommendation that you're going to get from most people that kind of know what they're doing is 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. So your body weight minus your body fat, and then you get a new number. So for most people, it's way under that. It's like, for a lot of people, it's like anywhere between...
Mine's 146, and the only reason I know
that's
that
lean
is because...
so that's lean body mass. Yeah. Okay.
I only know
so that's a reasonable number.
Yeah, because I was able to hit about 180 a couple of days in a week, but that was with me drinking
180 grams of protein.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
But that was with me eating drinking 2 protein shakes a day, at least 2, and they're 20 grams a piece.
So how long were you able to try to do that?
I think I lasted like 5 days, and I was like, this is
it's too much.
Crazy. I never...
Do you know what you're eating roughly now as far as protein intake?
At work,
On
it's
average.
a little harder, but I average about 115 to 125.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean...
And that's doable. I can definitely up it.
Well, and depending on what you were trying to do, that would potentially be somebody's recommendation is slightly calorically restricted to if you were trying to do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would tell you, and I'll have Jeff.
My thyroid is like... I mean, I don't know why I still have it in my body because I'm on the highest dose of Synthroid you can take a day. And
really?
Yeah. Every time I go to my endocrinologist, my doctor is just like, you have a metabolism of a 60-year-old. And I'm like, hey, great. That's awesome.
Thanks for the pep talk.
For real. And then they're like, well, why haven't you lost any weight? Oh, I wonder why. Asshole.
Wait, so and none of that has changed with any of the nutrition stuff you've tried thus far?
My thyroid, no, it's stayed completely the same. It's finally leveled off, but like I said, I'm on the highest dose of Synthroid a day. It's 300 micrograms a day. It is insane. Like, they don't even, like, FDA doesn't approve anything higher than that.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. I have definitely changed my diet overall. Like, I'm not super healthy, but overall my eating has gotten a lot better.
What did you learn from that 6-week kind of like cleanse, if you will? Like, what was your big takeaways? When so you ate no sugar for 6 weeks, and then you're like, at the end of that, here's what I got out of it.
I mean, so it was really hard for the first couple of weeks. I got really weak for the rest. But then by the end of it, it was like a fog kind of was lifted, right? When I started implementing carbs again is actually when I started being like, okay, like I can do this. Carbs break down into simple sugars. I don't need to eat extra sugar. And that's when I started actually researching. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to research.
That's good though.
I like to.
It can be bad though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a WebMDer, but
That's good.
I have enough of those people as patients.
I've got cancer.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you don't.
You're pretty much going to die. Anyways, so it opened my eyes in the fact of like, I can love food. Like I can be addicted to food, but it can be like healthy and it can still be good for you. And it just seasonings. That's all you need. Just seasonings. Makes everything good.
I mean, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
You know,
I would say I'm about 60% better than what I was before I even did CrossFit. There are I don't have cheat days because every day is a cheat day for me then. But I try to limit my intake, but not restrict, if that makes sense.
can you elaborate on that?
Like, I bought Halloween candy yesterday.
Yeah, it's Halloween.
Yeah, so
Well, it's not Halloween yet.
I mean, it's 2 weeks
You're
before,
prepping.
but you know.
You're prepping.
Which I probably shouldn't prep until like the day before. But I bought Halloween candy and
Have you been eating it?
Yeah, not a lot. I had 3 pieces last night. Shut up,
Are
Jason.
you eating it at a rate there will be no Halloween candy for the kids that come trick-or-treating at your house?
No, because I'm going to put it away. I'm going to put it somewhere and hopefully forget about it.
Or buy more?
Or buy more, yeah. That's like just buy more.
Problem solved. Problem solved.
They won't run out.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty common story when people cut out sugar because it is such an addictive
Yeah, it was crazy.
piece of the whole nutrition kind of puzzle, and it can be really tough to kick because it is addictive. You're like, I really need to have it, and but then once everybody that I know that has done it, once you get through it, you're like, I don't really need it.
Yeah.
And like you said before, it doesn't taste the same when you come back to it.
Yeah.
It's actually not that great. Which is why I'm like always disappointed when I do cheat meals. Like I'm just like, this is not what I remember it being. Like this was going to be so great, and I not only don't feel good but didn't enjoy it. So like there was literally zero reward for this. So I do it less and less now. Okay, cool. So I want to backtrack a little bit because you brought it up earlier about. So Morgan is going to be 5 in April, which is awesome.
It's the hard age. I don't know how low is, but man, this is a hard age.
Is she? Why?
She's becoming her own person, and it's hard for me. So like I said, I'm really hard with change, and I'm so type A that I want to be like, go clean up your room, and she should go do it. And the fact that she doesn't, it's like, I have no patience. Like being a parent has not helped my patience at all. That's one thing I need to work on for sure. But
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
it's frustrating.
So do you not make her go clean her room?
No, I make her go clean her
okay.
room, but it's after arguing. But if I were to just be less of a dick, then maybe she would have done it earlier instead of being like, you need to go do this or this. Like,
Probably not.
I don't know. Parenting is hard.
It's definitely not easy.
Yeah.
I have a lot of my dad as far as like parenting goes, which is we're not negotiating here. I'm not. I forgot I saw this on one show. It's like it was Red Stick Fire, or what was the gun show that they had on History Channel about I forget what it was.
I don't know.
Anyway, but he was talking to one of the guys. He's like, "Oh, you must have confused this for a conversation." It's not. This is me telling you what to do.
Yeah.
And that's how my dad was. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not asking you. Go do it."
Yeah.
And we don't like crush Logan, but I mean, I think that one of the best pieces of advice I ever got from a parenting standpoint was, hey, if you're going to lay down an ultimatum, you have to be prepared to follow through.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you just forfeit all power that you have. So if it's like, hey, if you don't do that, you're going in timeout. When they don't do it, they got to go in timeout.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
And she's pretty easy, but yeah, she's the same. She's kind of in the same boat where she's kind of like doesn't want to do things now. And her new thing is I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's actually I don't like it either. Even she totally misuses the word either. Hey, go put your pajamas. I don't like it either. Either than what? I didn't give you 2 options. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Morgan's the same way.
I'm like, what? Where did you learn either? I gotta talk to this person. But yeah, it's fun though. It's like a lot of it is like really funny. Because
Yeah,
they're
it
not
is.
bad kids.
Yeah, they're not.
just like trying to learn their way in the world.
Right. Trying
But
to push the limits.
yeah, which is, I mean, that never stops.
Yeah.
So how long postpartum was it before you started training with Lexi?
Probably a year.
Okay.
I had postpartum really bad, and it lasted for a long time.
Even into when you were training?
Mm-hmm. But that helped, like, just moving, getting off my ass was what I needed.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's been a lot of recent studies and research done with regard to PTSD and the effects of just moving with regard to depression and how it helps. But Jess was the same way after Logan, like a lot of postpartum.
Yeah.
And probably about the same time, about a year. And it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I just didn't expect it to turn my world completely upside down. Like, it even started in the hospital, because I did just deliver at Portsmouth.
Yep.
So at every other hospital, they take the baby away and they allow the mom to sleep, and then they bring baby back for feeding, and then they bring, like, you get those rest times.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And working at a hospital, and I worked in the NICU for 2 years, that's what I was like, all right, I'm going to have this kid, they're going to take her away so I can sleep. No. In Portsmouth, they just leave them in the room, and I'm like, hey, what? No, this isn't how I need to sleep. Like, take her away from me.
I just took did were you C-section or
no, vaginal?
Natural? Yeah.
I just pooped her right out. That's basically what happened.
But I mean, I literally have never done that and will never do that, but I got to imagine that's pretty exhausting.
Yeah. I went to 9 centimeters without an epidural because I wanted to be one of those people that was like, meh, natural. Yeah. And then
I don't need it. You better give me those drugs right now.
Yeah. They came in, they're like, this is your last chance. And I'm like, yeah, do it. And then they put it in and it didn't even work. Like, I was numb on my left side and my right side, whatever.
I didn't know that was standard practice.
For epidural?
No, for to take the baby and then bring it back in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ours was a little different, so that was an emergency deal where they're like literally had to just whip her off to the NICU. But I would think that'd be a little weird to take the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they have to clean the baby up and make sure everything's good, but
no, yeah. So mom gets like an hour. I mean, they don't put a time limit on it, but you have your skin to skin time.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, do you want to rest? We can take the baby. And if it's healthy and everything, they take it to the nursery for 3 hours, and or 2.5 to 3 hours. Bring them back when they're hungry, feed, and then they take them away. And it's like, where in the hell was this?
That's interesting.
It is.
So you think that made it more stressful, like not getting that kind of just reprieve from like a little break?
Yeah, like I just assumed I was going to get a break. And then I had a lot of problems with breastfeeding, and then I ended up not breastfeeding, and then I got all that negativity from even my doctors from not breastfeeding.
I had no idea how big of a deal that was either.
Oh my God. They were like, okay, the golden hour, which is whatever.
Yeah.
So I tried that, and then her and I just weren't clashing. Like, I loved her, but I did not like Morgan until she was about 5 months old. Like, I just was not expecting everything that came with having a kid. Like, I knew what was going to happen, but I didn't know. And
how do you know, though? I mean, like,
just from working with babies and kind of seeing it. But it's like,
you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
It's all you like. You don't know until they're like, "Here's your kid." And you're just like, "Oh my God! Like, what am I going to do?"
For real. Like, I bit her fingernails because I didn't want to cut. Like, I was crazy. I was a stupid.
Okay, so then, so you start training in that, you start feeling better at this point.
Yeah, because I started getting strong, and I like training. Like, I like working out, and I'm not one of those people that can work out by themselves because I'm not self-motivating. So being in a class was what I really needed. Like, I can't just go out. Well, now I can go out and run and not completely hate myself, but before I'd get like a block, and I'm like, this is stupid, and I'd stop.
Yeah, I would classify you. I mean, most of the time it's in humor, but like you're pretty self-deprecating.
Yeah, I am.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, my whole life. All right, this is gonna sound really horrible, but you know how you always have your group of friends, and then you always have like the thicker one. I'm gonna say thick just to be nice to myself, but I was that person.
Okay.
Like, I was always the bigger one. All my girlfriends were like little Barbies. Even to this day, they're all still beautiful. And I know I'm beautiful in my own way, but I've always been a little thicker. It's like, I'm not part of the 357 club. Did you know they used to make jeans, and there's a store that just did 357 sizes?
Sizes?
Yeah.
That's what the name of the store was?
Yeah, 357.
I feel like that's discrimination.
For real? Where's my 10, 12, 14 girls? Hello.
Right. Okay, so then...
But yeah, I've always... I am humorous because otherwise I would probably shoot myself.
So that's kind of like a defense mechanism?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I get it. I mean... Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. I was voted class clown, so that makes it any better.
I could see that too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I appreciate your humor. Like, it's very dry in many cases, and I feel like sometimes I'm the only person that gets it, which makes it funny.
I know. And I grew up with
Josh
brothers.
Bailey gets it.
So, yeah. Josh is exactly like my brothers. It's amazing.
Okay, so then let's fast forward a little bit and talk about when you come in here. So when you come in here, you alluded to it a little bit earlier. It wasn't what you thought it was going to be.
Mm-mm. No, not. Well, okay. So when I came in for that interview, before we even did the, whatever you call it, the 5
intro.
movement. Yeah. I was so nervous. Like I was at home, like I got dressed and I felt like I was going on a first date. I was like, oh my God, Mike, like, I hope he likes me. Do I look okay? Like, do I look like I'm trying too hard?
He's like, where are you going?
No, I'm going to, but I was so nervous. And before I left, Mike was like, you're going to kill it, right? Like, I needed a talk to be able to come in here. Yeah, just to come in here and talk to you. But I was so nervous. I thought, because of the hype, I thought for sure I was going to come in here and be like, you're not what we're looking for.
Really?
Yes. I'm like, okay, I was an athlete when I was a kid, so maybe he'll see that. And I'm like,
just walk in immediately, be like, I played softball. You're like, my name's Jason. I don't know, like,
yeah. I was so nervous, Jason. So nervous.
No, so I'm totally aware of that now because we've just been doing this so long. We've met so many people. Mm-hmm. And for the life of me, like, and that is kind of the point of this podcast is to try to reach people on a different level because I don't know how else to kind of break down those barriers. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I'm at a loss. I'm like, we're not jerks. Like we're not judgmental. Like this is really fun. This is a great place to be.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you got to get people in the door.
Mm-hmm. Like I thought for sure there was going to be a lunk alarm.
Really?
Yeah.
But the opposite.
Opposite, absolutely.
Yeah. What would we call that?
Unfit.
The unfit alarm? Or we have to come up with a sound.
Go to the corner, yeah. Like a fart. Or a fat person. just video of me running, and then we'll put that in
just the audio of heavy breathing. Like, okay.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, so then it wasn't that.
No,
So give me your recollection of the meeting. I'm genuinely curious at this point.
I was glad that it was like a sit down, like how we sat in the couches in the front. It made it a lot more comfortable. And the fact that you put your feet up, I was like, all right, this guy's chill. Like I can relax.
Did you put your feet up too?
No, I was very,
okay,
I felt like I was in an interview.
Okay.
I was very prim and proper. Like I was like, ooh, don't say the wrong thing, Alicia. Don't say the wrong thing. Don't be stupid. Don't let him see anything. The Frozen song just came in my head. Don't let them in.
Oh,
no,
man.
Anyways.
I just got like the weird tick because that song gives me I've heard it way too many times.
Yeah. So the interview went really well. I felt like you were asking good questions that I could be like, okay, yes, I feel good, like I'm comfortable, and I had a really good vibe, and I left and I was like one of those giddy, like
cool.
I really felt like it was a first date that went really well.
That's great. I mean, we've done it so many different ways over the years, but what we have found to be super effective as far as just like bringing people's anxiety down. Because one thing I am totally 100% empathetic to now, having done this a long time, is like, this is intimidating. And I tell the staff all the time, there is no other way that you should look at this when a new person comes in other than they are intimidated.
Yeah.
You'll know immediately if they are not, but the assumption should be that they are intimidated, and we have to do everything we can as fast as possible to make them not feel that way.
Yeah.
And what we found is immediately bring them in and start doing physical things is not the recipe for success.
Okay.
When we bring people in, the first thing is come in and just ask them why they're there. Like, what can we do for you? And you'd be shocked, like, what people will tell you the first day. I found like the best thing is just to shut your mouth.
Yeah.
How can I help you? And then just be quiet. And they're just like, "Blah!"
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, wow, that was a lot. We just met. But it's awesome. But it's really great because that's actually what we want.
Yeah.
I want to know why you're here, because if I know why you're here, then I can help you.
Yeah.
But man, we've done it poorly, but I'm glad I got it right.
I'm telling you, I felt awesome. Like I went home and was like, yes, I get to, I think you had me come back a couple days later to do the test. And then even during that test, you were like, do a squat. And then you were like, wow. And then you asked somebody like, hey, have you seen someone do a squat like this on their first day? And I was like,
I think you did an overhead squat.
I can't remember what it was.
I think it was an overhead squat, and there are some
you,
people that have come in here that on their first day can overhead squat. I'm just like, you have no idea how good that is. It's not perfect.
Yeah, it's still.
But I'm like, the biggest limiting factor for people when they start CrossFit is not that they're out of shape, and it's not that they're weak. The thing that crushes people is lack of mobility.
Yeah.
Because it makes everything harder.
Yeah.
Like if you can't get in good positions, like everything is just a real pain. So when people come in that can get themselves in proper positions, I just kind of throw my hands up. I'm like, you're going to be fine. Like you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because you have all the advantages that most people don't. You have all the mechanical advantage. And maybe we just need to get a little bit stronger, which will happen over time.
Yeah.
So,
and that was great to hear that I was ahead of the game essentially.
Yeah.
And then even with the row, I think you had me do 500 meters or something. And
I think you crushed the row.
Yeah. Like I was trying to be impressive, obviously, but
I was impressed.
Well, thanks. I was trying my hardest not to let you down. Put me in a box. I don't like it. I don't like new things. But yeah,
a whole wheel of cheese.
I definitely felt so much better leaving the interview and the test, just because of the way that you were such an intimidating person at first. Obviously, no, not anymore. But the way that you spoke to
just
me
like posture wise, or like just the way I look. Yeah, I do have resting dick face sometimes.
Well,
but.
Yeah, we're one and the same.
Yeah.
No, your posture, yeah, you definitely have that very, like, you're very, I don't know, I was going to say mature, but that's the wrong word. You are, but that's not what I was thinking of.
I know
like,
what you're saying.
Like, you always have your arms crossed, and it's like, wow, this guy's, he's got it. Like,
that's something I'm like, I think about a lot now.
Why?
Because it's intimidating.
Oh.
Even though I don't intend it to be. Just your face.
Yeah.
You know, so like I do this sometimes. Like I will just walk around and practice smiling at people. I am dead serious, because it's not natural at first.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to smile and you're forcing it, then it looks real weird. Yeah. Then they're like, "What, a creeper? Like, what is your deal?" So it takes practice.
Yeah.
Before like and then it's not forced anymore. And then it is a genuine smile of like, hey, I'm just smiling at you to tell you good morning.
Yeah.
But that was and it wasn't because I'm unhappy or grumpy. It's just because like smiling at people was not my natural state.
Yeah.
And that's something I've had to practice a lot. And then constantly being aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because this can give it can also be a judgmental type stance. You're like, oh, he's over there judging me, like blah blah blah. So I like assume, and that's kind of my natural. This is like my comfort. Like I'm in here tight, it's closed off, and I try to get out of that real quick if I find myself in that state, because people are judging me. Why? Because they think I'm judging, even though I'm not. I'm probably thinking deep thoughts of whatever, by Jack Handy. Okay, cool. And then, I mean, I think you've had like a pretty awesome, like, evolution since you've been here. Like, you've kind of found your sweet spot, I think, as far as like, I think when people come in, they find what they're good at.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of like managing what you're bad at, or what you don't like.
Yeah.
But I think you've gotten better at a lot of the things that initially you were just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the running.
Yeah, running. I can do without dying-ish.
You just ran a half, didn't you? Didn't die.
I didn't die. It was the hardest. No, like, this is going to sound really fucking weird, but you were in my head from like mile 9 to 12, which is more of like I appreciate it because you're like a coach, but I remember you saying pretty much not anybody, but any average person can run a half marathon. It's running a full is what you have to train for. But then I remember you also saying it when you ran a full, you hit like mile 17 and you were just like, I'm not doing this
Devastated.
anymore. Yeah. That's how I was at mile 7.
But you could do it.
I know I could, but I had to really be like, oh my God, Alesha, come on. Like, you trained for this. You can do it. Who cares if you finish under or over your goal? Like, and I knew I was going to finish, but
you didn't finish over the goal.
No, I didn't finish.
You finished.
I finished under.
Under, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really hard mentally. Physically, I could have done it a lot better.
I think the mental piece is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my thing through all of it. Like, my mental game has always been really weak. And that's just because I think that has to do with me being insecure with myself.
Has it improved since you started CrossFit?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm still not
noticeably. Like, are you like coaching yourself through things outside of the gym now?
Yeah, and I feel like I'm a lot more confident even at work. I think I'm more approachable, or I will approach people that I don't know more
cool.
now. But
That's super cool.
yeah, I'm definitely, like you said, self-deprecating.
Yeah, but that's okay. That can be a mechanism to get people to actually be a little bit more open.
Yeah.
You know, where they're like, oh, she's not like all into herself or whatever, or he's not all into herself.
Yeah, definitely not. But I do in workout, especially with cardio. What was there was one on. Anyway,
Did you do yesterday's?
No, I wasn't.
Cherry
but I
picker.
missed it. I looked at it and I was like, damn it.
kidding.
I really wanted. I was working. Shut up. There was a workout on a Monday, and I really wanted it to be cardio, and it was. I can't remember what it was, but I was like excited about it, and I remember thinking like, wow, you're excited about running.
That's cool.
Something's wrong with you.
No, that's great.
Because I want to get back into running. After the half in September, I was like, whatever.
It can be therapeutic for a lot of people.
Yeah. So I enjoy all aspects of the WOD now, rather than just like the strength days.
That's cool.
Yeah. Even though I still can't, I won't say suck, but even though I still can't do a lot of the movements, it's.
Do you think that's because now you are just a little bit more mentally equipped to deal with it?
Yeah. And I feel like now that I feel strong and I'm like happy at where I'm at, strength wise, now I can start working on like the tedious gymnastic movements more.
Yeah, gymnastics takes forever.
It does.
It takes so long. It sucks.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Do you listen to podcasts or read books?
Not as often as I should.
Are you listening to any or reading anything right now?
No.
Nothing? Mm-mm. Seen any movies lately?
No.
Okay.
My husband and I watch a lot of series.
Netflix series?
Yeah, we're watching The Vikings right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just finished watching the 90s, and I watched
I heard that was good though.
it's great.
Is that?
I watch 2 Netflix series a year, maybe 3.
Okay.
And somebody's like, dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. So, recommend it, everybody. Okay. Last thing. You get to ask me any question you want about anything.
About anything?
Anything.
I don't want to think too hard or too long.
And I purposely don't tell people this ahead of time, so I have an advantage. But as soon as we release all the podcasts, everybody's going to know, and they're going to prep.
Yeah. Are you excited for the new baby?
I am excited.
Yeah.
I'm also, oh man, selfishly, I'm scared.
Why? Oh, because of everything with Lo?
Well, no, that's not actually what scares me. I'm afraid that we're going to have he's not going to sleep.
Because Lo was so good.
Yeah, outside of the first 90 days, I mean, she's a dream. Slept all through the night, never cried, never anything. And, that's my fear, is that this one is going to be the opposite of that.
You never know. It usually does seem to do that. But, I mean, having Logan so early obviously sucked. But NICU babies, they always are the best sleepers.
Ballers, man.
Morgan was a great sleeper. Thankfully, I would have eaten a bullet a long time ago. But, yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Do you have a name picked out?
We've been working on it.
Oh, that's not fun.
I picked the first one real fast, and then the second one, It's a little harder. I don't know if it's because it's a boy. I feel like boy names are harder than girl names.
Really?
But
Yeah.
I've got a list. We were joking the other day because I told her, I was like, well, hey, he needs a placeholder name until we we can't just call him the baby. And,
What sounds good when the NFL says?
so I was like, we're just going to call him Toby for right now. She's like, what? And I'm like, listen, not forever, but I've got to call him something until I figure out what his actual name is going to be.
I think of a dog when I think it just. I mean,
Listen, that's why I chose something that we weren't going to hold
Okay.
on to. Yeah. Sorry, all the Tobys out there, but
yeah.
she was like, yeah, that's a terrible name. And I'm like, I'm working on it. Cut me some slack.
Yeah. The running joke in my family is that my dad wanted to name me Olga, and if my name was Olga, I would be a raging lesbian, just because I got broad shoulders and a big ass. And if I had the German name, I would have had to have been a lesbian. That's the running joke in my family.
I mean, there's a lot of good things that have come out from it. They can come out
I mean,
from that.
yeah. So I always make that joke, especially with Reagan.
Would she be your partner?
I think I would try to go for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see
She
that.
seems my.
Yeah,
I definitely
like your type.
I need a lipstick because I would be the butch for sure.
That's okay. We always used to joke about it, like it was the question, be like, hey, how much money would it take for you to whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guys, that conversation would
With
get,
other men?
Oh yeah,
My
it
husband
would
did
get
that on
out of
deployment.
hand. I mean, it would get out of hand. It's something, and then I mean, the conversation. This was in college, and like they got real out of hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is. Thank God there weren't phones and stuff back then.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's really fun. Like I said, I enjoy talking to you. All right, guys, if you have any questions, you can find us on all the social medias, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, CrossFitRife.com. Hit us up if you have questions. If you have questions for Alesha, she'd be happy to ignore those questions, and I'll try to answer them in her place. But, yeah, reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Thanks. See ya.